Our genes are a kind of archive of the remote past, and they go through us to the remote future. Henry Dawkins may be my 4 greats-grandfather, and he's put some genes in here. But my 200 million greats-grandfather was a fish, and by the way, the same fish was your 200 million greats-grandfather too.
Like any good YouTube creationist, Brett Keane takes a scientific claim, doesn't bother to challenge it or its overwhelming amount of evidence from a number of fields of scientific studies, brings up no counterpoints, but just adds a laugh track and simply just tries to dismiss it. Which reminds me, Brett, how does it feel to be at odds with over 30% of the Christian community that does believe in evolution, that can take science as it is and just simply think that God did it? I mean, it's one thing if you disagree with atheists, but with your fellow believers? How do you get past that?
And today I want to explain to you all why it is that I don't think that atheists belong in politics or the government or given any kind of authority or leadership roles. In fact, I don't even think atheists belong on YouTube. After my intro, we'll talk about this.
This is a mighty bold proposition that Brett Keane here is making, so I really hope that his evidence or his reasons for why he believes this are more strongly supported than a laugh track.
Historically, we can see that any time a non-believer was given any kind of position of authority or leadership, he always failed. He always ruined every single thing and caused damage in whatever society he led over. For instance, if you look at Joseph Stalin or Mao or Pol Pot or many of the atheist dictators that exist today as well as in the past, they have murdered their people, they have starved out their people, they've been very materialistic. While children starve in the streets, the materialistic atheist is sitting behind a television playing Nintendo and feeding his face with Twinkies.
Yes, Brett. Bad people do bad things. Yes, these people were atheists, but let's look at all the things that people did things in the name of Christianity. You know, like Hitler. Or, you know, when the Christians were moving over to America, you know, the Trail of Tears, while they were killing a whole bunch of Indians. That sure wasn't people in political power, but it doesn't matter your political prowess. If you're evil and you have the power to do something, you're going to most likely do something evil. So trying to lump all atheists with a few bad eggs is like me trying to lump up every Christian with people like you. If you want to talk about people that have fucked up countries and everything, I would probably should refer you to George Bush, WGW. Has managed to, you know, that left his office putting us trillions of dollars into debt and put us right in the middle of a war that, you know, maybe was fine the first little bit, but we stay there for one reason or another that wasn't warranted. Of course, that's a discussion for another day, but Christians aren't perfect either.
The atheist doesn't have any objective morals and ethics, so to him, you are no more valuable than that of a chemical.
We may not agree on the idea of objective morals, but we most likely agree on intersubjective morality, or morality that persists through most of the population of the world, where things that there may be that we should follow a case-by-case basis on the morality of a certain action. But to say that we don't care, that we see every other person in front of us just as chemicals and, and put them in such a low regard, what is that? Where does that come from? There's no proof behind that. There's no reason behind that. I've never met an atheist like that. I've never met a person like that. That's stupid.
And whenever an atheist kills someone or makes a bad decision, he's not actually harming a human being with a consciousness or soul. To him, no one has a soul, so you're nothing but a piece of hamburger with chemicals colliding with other chemicals.
Just want to make a quick point out that everybody thinks we have some sort of consciousness. Christians don't have a monopoly on the idea of consciousness. We just don't think it's a soul.
When you die by the hand of an atheist, he doesn't care. He just sees you as a pile of garbage that once used to speak words and disagree with him. So whenever you are pulverized and buried into the ground, you become a product of the universe to him, and you no longer exist. It doesn't matter to him. The value of life just simply isn't there.
The fact that atheists believe that people don't have souls, ergo they're not going to heaven to live for eternity, puts atheists in the position to realize that life is very valuable, that it's very precious and very short, and that there's no end reward for our lives, and we're going to, once it's over, it's over. We see people, we know that we wouldn't want to hurt them or kill them, just like we wouldn't want to be killed, because that's the end of our lives. To say that we just see them as hamburger meat?
Do you want someone like that who's actually got their finger near the button? Someone who believes that they're an unevolved primate?
We think that we're way more evolved than our primate ancestors and our primate cousins. We don't think we're unevolved. I don't know where you got such a notion. Maybe somebody should quit going to creation.org or Answers in Genesis, because I don't know where you read that from, but any half-smart person understands the evolutionary process and where we believe we sit in that process.
Who digs in its own ass and flings poop all over the place? I don't think so.
I was doing okay until he mentioned the finger in the ass and flinging poo. First off, what is he doing, cussing? Because I can imagine if he's cussing that much on camera, he probably cusses pretty good outside of that. What kind of Christian representation are you giving out there anyways? But secondly, he mentioned the whole finger in the ass thing, and so now I just had this really horrible image of Brett Keane, with his pants down, sticking his finger in his ass, and it's starting to fling poo, and I just, oh God, I'm so glad that I ate like 30 minutes ago, and it's given enough time to keep it down, but I thought I would ruin your night as well. God, that's,
I sure as hell don't want some unevolved monkey controlling the White House and telling us how we ought to do things whenever their morals and ethics are negotiable.
Honestly, Christians that are watching this, is that what you really think that atheists are? Like, that atheists are just, just two steps from living inside of a cage, and they're just, evil, and just going around hitting everybody and causing car crashes and just going up to people and beating them at work, like just mental patients? I mean, honestly, who can listen to what Brett Keane is saying and really think that's what atheists are doing? It's terrible.
As a politician, sometimes you find yourself standing before other politicians or leaders of other cultures, races, creeds, belief systems, ideologies. The atheist believes that his way is the only true way, that there is no other alternative.
Projection much? I mean, secondly, let's look into this. Atheism is only about the God claim. That has nothing to do with politics. In general, yes, there are certain things that religion does in politics, but, if they're passing a new bill about, something they having to do with the community and where the taxes should go, and they're not going to no, fuck you, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, you do, so I completely disagree with you. I don't really care if those kids need that tax money for their school lunch, but fuck you because you're a Christian. It's not how it works.
So if someone says to him that we believe in God and this is what we want for our particular future, or how we see that our society should be raised up, the atheist can't be negotiated with.
You know, I remember when the U.S. was drafting that whole silly constitution, about fairness and equality and equal rights and, government shall not respect any institution or any religion, anything like that. So when a person like a Christian says, hey, you should pass this law because I believe I should have the right to tell people who can and can't get married, because that's my religious, that's my religious freedom. When the government gets to come in and says, you may have a religious freedom to believe those things, but you don't have the right to tell people what they can and can't do. That whole equality and fairness and equal rights bullshit, that thing we do. So, yeah, that's a good thing to be adamant about. We're not going to respect a Christian religion more than anyone else just because you want it to be that way. And again, that has nothing to do with atheism. That was drafted in the Constitution, by our deist, agnostic, maybe somewhat atheistic, but most likely deist forefathers.
He simply sees things as whatever benefits him and his people or whatever he cares about.
Another attempt at Brett Keane to stereotype all atheists as selfish. Everyone is selfish. Atheists can be selfish. Christians can be selfish. If you don't believe me, Christians, when you donate to charity, does it make you feel good? Good. If it does, yeah, great. But keep donating because it makes you feel good. That's a selfish reason. Do you donate because God in the Bible tells you to? Yeah, and you're trying to keep Jesus and God happy? Selfish reason. But again, it's a misrepresentation of atheism, or I'm sorry, trying to draw a stereotype to atheism. But let's just move on.
And even whenever it comes to his own people, the atheist sees love as no more valuable than that of a candy bar, so he doesn't really have actually the kind of love that we understand that love is defined as.
Really? That we don't understand love? Because none of us atheists were ever Christians before. I was like as if I was not a Christian before, and I don't understand the definition of love according to the Bible. But I'm pretty sure we have an understanding of what love is, and but now if you mean like the general love and relationships, and I love this person, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. Okay, Barney reference. But if you mean like the biblical love, God, love is kind, love is patient, love is not, love does not envy, blah blah blah. Well, we understand that, but I personally don't ever see God actually following out by that definition of love and doing things to be contrary to that definition of love. But again, that's neither here nor there. But really, you think atheists don't understand what love is? Again, do you just see us as just lumbering buffoons at the candy bar?
He's affectionate for maybe his mother or father, brothers and sisters, providing that they're not God believers, because if you're a God believer, then you're stupid, you're mentally ill, and you don't deserve to live.
I'm an atheist, and I love my family still, even though they're Christians, and I respect them. Now, interestingly enough, my mom was definitely a hardcore Christian, and I've actually recently, I don't know if I've basically deconverted her. She no longer believes in the Christian God. I believe she's more of like an agnostic atheist now, which is interesting. But my sisters, they are still believers. They are still Christians. So is my brother-in-law and all them, and so are my nieces. I still love the hell out of them. They're my family. They have been with me ever since I was, born. Why would I hate them just because they believe differently than me? Remember, atheism is just about a God claim. These people are still relevant, important human beings. To look at atheists as if we see our family as the enemy, just because they may believe differently than us, or anybody, because they believe differently than us, that they're the enemies.
That's the atheist philosophy. So how is someone like this going to debate anyone or work out any kind of issue?
I'd imagine it'd be like anybody else. They'd gather the evidence, weigh the pros and cons, and make the best decision of what they possibly can.
The atheist doesn't like the concept of charity either. If it's not filling his pockets and helping him with his own resources, he doesn't see any kind of point. Why help someone that's dying for? Why help out some child that's starving to death? Who cares? They're going to become non-existent. You move along, on to the next situation, whatever's beneficial for the materialistic atheist.
I'm an atheist, and I donate to the Extra Life Foundation, the Children's Miracle Network, on a regular basis. Like if you go to when you go to Walmart or certain places, or Albertsons, well, actually may not have an Albertsons, Kroger's, or God, I'm taking all kind of local businesses. I think got the point. And they have the little red balloons, and like, here, would you like to donate? Yeah, I do that all the time. And I also have been having a foster child for the past about 5 years now. Qatar Ong is her name, from Myanmar. She's been my sponsored child for the past 5 years. I've donated a goat to her family as well, on top of my regular monthly things. Again, atheism has nothing to do with the idea of charity things, and I would also have to argue, like before, about life. Is we consider life more valuable. Who is going to be more likely to consider the welfare of a child? The Christian that thinks, oh, well, even if this kid dies young, she'll be in heaven. Or the one that says, this kid's going to die at 7 years old if I don't feed her right now, and she's going to live her entire life in a miserable state. Who?
Since the atheist thinks he's a monkey, then he has a tribalistic type of mentality. He thinks that the most important thing in his life is what monkey has the most bananas, and whoever's got the most bananas has the greatest status quo. Well, that kind of attitude and personality will get us blowed up real quick in the world, won't it? You can't go around saying, I've got more bananas than you, so you're not valuable, you're not important, you're garbage, and all the bananas belong to me because I'm, the universe's gift.
Well, from what we can see here is that Warren Buffett gave 99% of his money to charity, and he's an atheist. Bill Gates, also an atheist, gave $26 billion to charity. And Pat Robertson, an evangelical Christian, probably one of the richest ones in the world, he gave very little, and also owned a diamond mine, which was recently exposed for child slavery. Now, for those of you that are going to say, yeah, so you found a few atheists that are that way, that doesn't mean that they all are. And to that I say, exactly, and please try to remember that from now on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it obvious whenever you watch atheists on YouTube, they can't debate, they can't have a discussion without acting like a damn animal?
Obviously, he's never heard of Aaron Ra, Ozymandias Ramses, Chris Mowdy, Alex Botten, FSX23, Matt Dillahunty, 13 Heathens, Matthew Steele, Don XS2, Steve Shives. I'm going to throw myself in there as well, because even though I've had a few videos in which I went into a rant, if you've ever seen me do a video with G-Man at Google Hangout, I am completely capable of keeping myself calm and under the worst circumstances where I probably should have blown up the most. The thing is, Brett, is you tend to throw up atheist on your channel or on your videos, like with your atheist believe in Pokemon or whatever, but hate him, or love Pokemon but hate Brett Keane, whatever video. You throw out atheists that are either just very young, very immature in their atheism, or just bad debaters, and they were just, whatever. Yeah, I don't see you talking about any of these people that can calmly, rationally refute anything that you bring up. And even right now, I'm remaining very calm without struggling at all, and sitting here one by one dismantling your arguments. So no, you're wrong.
I don't think that atheists even belong on YouTube if they think that they're an unevolved primate, unless they have a zookeeper nearby to keep them protected from themselves as well as other people that they interact with. You see, the atheist wants to be like a human being, I think, deep down inside, and that's the reason why they go to all these Christian, Muslim, pagan, deist YouTube channels attacking us. They gravitate towards us like a moth does fire. They want to understand what it means to be a human being, and whenever they realize that they can't be a human being because of their sick, deluded mind and twisted lifestyle and culture, they then want to insult everyone else and attack and project all their fears and anger and wrath on every other person. Something like this, a creature that thinks it's an unevolved primate that evolved from some primordial ooze, basically mud like shit.
That's another cuss word for the high and mighty Christian.
Does not belong in the White House, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I wouldn't sit there and agree that these particular type of individuals belong in any kind of employment whatsoever, including babysitting children or in an education system where they're teaching kids. I mean, if the kids are just chemicals and everything, what if a child disagrees with the atheist? Then the atheist goes all Joseph Stalin on that ass, and then we've got a murder spree on our hand.
But seriously, Brett, is that what you did? Did you go out to the Christian channels and all that stuff and just troll people? Did you see yourself as a person that's 2 steps away from flinging poo at people? Were you stark raving mad at any person that was a believer, someone that believed opposite you? Are you the one did you see yourself as a selfish, you had the most bananas and it doesn't matter? Did you not value human life? Did you see them as hamburger meat and chemicals? Is that how you really saw yourself? Is if somebody were to tell you that, if there was a Brett Keane that told you that, is that how you felt? Would you have agreed with them? Do you really think that humans are unevolved monkeys or primates? Did you believe that, or did you believe that then? Did you believe that we we evolved from that primordial soup? If so, then you are obviously you were very ignorant about the actual science and what it actually says. You were obviously not paying attention in science class at the point. If you're going to make these same creationistic arguments, how, as somebody that used to be an atheist, that knows how it is we think, and you're going to sit there and insult atheists that way? It's a shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Brett Keane from the YouTube channel Brett Keane Hollywood. Vote for only God believers. Non-believers are sick. Peace out.
Thing is that Brett Keane doesn't seem to realize that in political offices around the country, we have all types of atheist and non-religious people in power. I will provide a link for at least the most well-known ones. But really, when you have countries such as Japan, about 75% of people consider themselves non-religious. China, around 50%. France, 40% atheist, 27% non-religious. Czech Republic, 44 and 37. UK, 25% atheist, 33% non-religious. There are people in power in all of those countries that are not religious and or atheists, and the countries are doing just fine, and they're holding power, and they're not abusing their power more than anybody else does that has been a Christian before, or they're not doing anything wrong at all. To claim that atheists are sick or mentally ill or disturbed, or I forgot however you said, and that they'll ruin everything, that everything falls apart when they're under control. It's simply not true. I mean, I'm curious though, and nobody's been able to do it, but to prove how many people in, say, our Congress and the House of Representatives are closet atheists. We've seen one example of a man that was an atheist, but he didn't reveal himself being an atheist until long after he had left Congress. And that's just one person. I mean, right now, Australia's Prime Minister is a female and an atheist. So people like that have power. They're not mentally ill or disturbed. The world's getting along just fine. So everything you're saying is just basically just fundamentally just false. Everything you've said tonight just has no real proof behind it. It's just a terrible stereotyping of people that don't deserve that. And all you're doing is spreading out hate. I don't get you, Brett. You were an atheist. I know you wouldn't have appreciated those things being said if you had said it. And I know you didn't believe those things that you're saying today. And I don't think you actually mean them what you're saying right now. I think you're a Poe. But those people that do follow you, they do believe you for one reason or another. And so I'm doing my part in really correcting you on your lies and your bullshit. So that's it. This is the Atheist Chef signing off. Peace.